Hello, Jordan.
Can you hear me?
Could you speak up?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you better. Do you mind turning your video camera
I
on?
don't have camera.
Oh, okay. That's okay. It was just so that I can see you, but that's okay. I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Well, welcome to my class. My name is Melissa. I'm from Canada. Could you introduce yourself to me?
I'm Jordan. I'm from Taiwan, Taipei. I'm a software engineer.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. How long have you been a software engineer?
I have worked as a software engineer here for 4 years.
Wow, do you like it?
Yes, I like my job.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. That's great. Well, welcome again to my class. Let me go ahead. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn this video on. Now, if you aren't able to hear it, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Um,
Spend so much time on the hunt, but nothing ever quite does it for us. And we get so wrapped up in the hunt that it kind of makes us miserable.
Can you hear it? Can you hear the volume?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect.
Black Friday shopping mania is still playing out tonight at malls across America. Hopes of savings of big bucks on those holiday gifts. Retail pretty in some cases. It did turn violent. We've, as a culture, kind of lost our minds.
There's no question that what it means to have achieved the American dream has increased tremendously in material terms.
This is not something that just happened yesterday. This is something that has been sold to us over the past 100 years by those that want to make a whole lot of money. Now, that's what I call a good-looking car. You have this thing that you were obsessed about, but then the new version comes out, and now you no longer care about the one you have. In fact, the one you have is a source of dissatisfaction.
People are beginning to recognize that they have maybe been tricked. There is no out until you become aware. You're not going to get happier by consuming more.
Ready? I was born ready. There's nothing wrong with consumption. The problem is compulsory consumption. We're tired of it. We're tired of acquiring things because that's what we're supposed to do. When I heard about minimalism, it wasn't about just getting rid of my stuff. It was about taking control of my life and stop being told what to do and actually deciding what I wanted to do. When I first started reducing the number of things in my life, I found out that I had 51 things in the entire world.
We've probably sold or donated at least 90% of our stuff. As I started to move that stuff out, I was able to finally realize what I had sacrificed.
The most common 3 words are in American homes. I don't know if it's I love you or if it's I want that. This same thing that's not making us happy is also causing the degradation of our habitat. We don't have to give up a lot.
The secret is that a lot of that we're not actually going to miss.
What I found with minimalism is it's a way of saying, let's stop the madness.
When you recognize that this life is yours and that it is your one and only, and one that seeps directly in your bones, and you recognize that this is it, everything changes.
Okay, so just going off about what the video had mentioned, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about this video?
It's hard to it's hard to recognize and realize the point in this video. hard to realize, and I think they just try to translate a simple idea.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. They do in this video. It's talking about minimalism, basically saying how we as consumers are constantly, we're doing the job of consumers. We're constantly buying, buying, and buying, and it's not necessarily stuff that we absolutely need, because there's two categories. There's necessities, and then there's luxury. Now, they're saying how we have been buying more things which are on the luxury side. We don't need it, but we want it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, like the necessities that we need on a day-to-day, on a day-to-day basis. We don't actually need it, but it's something that we would like to have, because that's how social media has portrayed humans to be, that we need this, we need this, we need the newest iPhone, or we need the newest laptop, or we need the newest clothes. Now, what are your thoughts in general about minimalism? Would you want a lifestyle like that, or what are your thoughts?
Yes, actually, I think I'm a minimalist because I don't want to waste my money, and I think it's hard, and it's hard to protect your luxury object,
Mm-hmm.
and once you bought a luxury things, you will obsess with it.
Yeah, yeah. For example, let's say you have a house, and in order to fill the house, you need furniture. You need furniture. How much furniture do you need? That is all dependent on you, of how many beds you want in your house, how you want to decorate your kitchen, how you want to decorate your backyard, or even how you want to decorate your living room. Now, there's basic needs that you must have in your home. For example, you need utilities for your kitchen. You need a pan, you need a spoon, a fork, which there's no negotiating. You need that. And then same for a living room. You would like a couch. You would want a sofa. But I guess what would be added would be, so you have a TV, and then you have an Xbox or like a gaming console. So that's extra, or not even extra if that's what you like, or you want to fill the room up with flowers, with small decorations, and constantly make it more spacious and add more things. I think that's where the line crosses of minimalism and then overly spending and buying to fill your home with a lot of stuff, with, let's say, with even like a candle. With a candle, like if you want to bring candles, or you want to bring paintings, just random stuff that you don't need. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have this in our homes. I'm just trying to think of things that we don't need, that are not basic needs for us humans to live by. Now, Jordan, would you say social media has played a factor in this?
Social media, I use social media.
You use social media?
Yes, I use social media.
Would you say that social media plays a big role in why we are the way we are now?
Um,
Does that make sense, or do you want me to repeat that for you?
social media I think it's necessary to use social media
Why?
because we have to communicate with others and require with information from the media.
But do you think it's also so you're saying positive things about it? Do you think there are any negative
Yes,
things about it?
a lot of people addicted to social media and addicted to the smartphone.
Mhm. Yeah. That's a good one. Now, do you think it's necessary to buy the latest phones?
By what?
Buy latest phone, smartphone.
Smartphone. Actually, it's not necessary.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not something that is necessary to use on a day-to-day basis, which is a point that you have. It's something that once again, as consumers, us have wanted. We are wanting to buy more and more and more. We are wanting to want the newest feature of anything that comes out. Now we're gonna do some reading. Let me. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a few sentences. Could you read them for me, Jordan?
Okay, we spend so much time on
Okay, you can begin.
hunt.
We-
We spend so much time on hunt, but nothing ever quite does it for us. And we get some wrap up in a hunt that it kind of makes us miserable. New actor Black Friday shopping is just still playing out tonight and more across America. High hope of savings stand big duck on those holiday gifts.
Okay, perfect. You can stop right there. So what the news anchor was saying was how have you heard of Black Friday shopping before?
Shopping before holiday shopping, I have heard Black, Black Friday, but not shopping.
Not shopping. Okay. What have you heard about Black Friday?
Black Friday is Black Friday. I forgot. I just heard this vocabulary, Black Friday, in
Yeah.
Chinese and in English.
Yeah. So Black Friday shopping is something that is a day right after Thanksgiving holiday for Americans, where it's known to be the one of the biggest sales ever in either retail or electronics. And that's what it was portrayed in the video too, with the amount of crowd rushing to get into a store was because they have massive sales on Black Friday. Just to give you an idea, let me show you all the stores, and it's open on midnight. They start opening at midnight. So it's November, right when November 26th hits, midnight doors open and people rush in because TVs, 50-inch TVs are put on for $200 US dollars or even less. It's very, very, very cheap to buy anything on this day. And now so you can even see that people are rushing to get TVs over here. Can you see that, Jordan, picture?
Yes, but I think it's too crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. But people do it. People shop, they buy anything because it's on sale. It's super cheap. So half of the time, consumers, they're buying it because they're thinking, oh, it's cheap. Let me buy it. I might use it down the line. But they're not thinking, oh, is this something I actually need? and they fight. I've seen videos where, let's say there's one TV left and I grab it, and then someone else wants it from me, so they grab it. So we're fighting over the TV. I've seen that on the news. I've seen a lot of violence. So it is very dangerous to go shopping on these days sometimes too. You have to be aware of that. So that is what Black Friday.
Yes, that's very crazy. Why they are so furry?
Yeah, it is. It's very crazy. It's very crazy. That's very true. Hi, Chloe. How are you?
Sure.
Hello. Okay, so Chloe, we have a new student. His name is Jordan, and this is Chloe Jordan, okay?
Hello. Hello, Jordan.
Okay, so Chloe, just to let you know what we've been doing, so we watched a video on minimalism, and now we're just getting into some of the reading, and we discussed about social media, minimalism, how is it really important to constantly be buying items that you don't necessarily need, because there's two categories. It's necessities, which is a must. You need that to survive. And then there's luxury, where you don't necessarily need it, but you'd like to buy, for example, the newest iPhone. You'd like to buy the newest iPhone. It's not a need because you can buy a simple phone, but this is what you want. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We just talked about Black Friday shopping. Do you by any chance know what Black Friday shopping is?
Yes, I know it, but I think that it's not really famous in Taiwan.
Okay. Yeah, so it's actually a very I guess it's Black Friday shopping. It's right after Thanksgiving holiday on right when November 26th hits at midnight. Doors open for the most part, and people go rushing in to go shopping because it's very, very cheap. They put things on sale at a very low cost. So you can see, I was just showing it to Jordan, you can see the amount of public just buying anything. Over here, it almost seems like there might be even fighting to take the TVs, or they're just rushing to get the TVs because everything is super cheap. They put, for example, a 50-inch TV for like 200 USD dollars. So it's very, very very, very cheap to go shopping on this day. Now, does Taiwan have anything like that? Any big shopping day or anything like that? Oh, we got a new student. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. This is the first time you're in my class. Welcome to my class. My name is Melissa.
Hello, Melissa. My name is Alice.
Nice to meet you, Alice.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Well, we are discussing today about minimalism and about, I guess, reducing what we need on a day-to-day basis, if it's actually a necessity that we need or if it's luxury. So I was just asking your classmate, Chloe, if in Taiwan, are you also from Taiwan?
Yes.
Okay. So Chloe, Jordan, and Alice, you all can jump right in. Is there anything in Taiwan that there's a big sale for a day that people go crazy to go shopping, or is there anything like that in your country?
I think in each festival that they will holding some activity of discount in the department store, like the Mother's Day, the Father's Day. Yeah.
Okay. Chloe, did you have something to say to that as well?
We have Double 11 Day.
Okay.
November and 11th of November.
Okay. And what does that day consist of? Is it is it crazy sales where it's super cheap to go and shop?
I think that is learned from China. That is the biggest shopping day in their country, and we followed.
Okay. Jordan, would you like to add on to anything else?
This only happen in the weekend.
Okay. It only happens on the weekend. So they're smart about it. They know that if it's on the weekend, more people will come and want to buy more things because less people are working because it's the weekend. Okay. Have any of you have you gone to these sales before? Anyone can jump right in. Jordan, have you gone to any of these sales before?
I have been to hypermarket before. And it's very crowded, and I found that the product sold in the hypermall isn't cheaper than the rental shop.
Okay, so just to repeat, you found it to be very cheaper compared to the retail store?
I found that they are not cheaper than the rental shop.
Oh, okay.
They just bigger, but the price, after calculation, I found that the price are similar.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of almost tricking consumers thinking that there's a sale, but there really isn't much of a sale. Is that what?
The quality seems more and bigger, but the price, after calculation, I think the price are similar.
Okay. What about you, Chloe or Alice? Have you partaken into shopping in these big sales?
I seldom go to because there are so many people, and sometimes the sellers, they always speak and talking too much, and I don't want to buy there. I very often buy online.
Okay. Yeah. So that's another thing. Online shopping. I wouldn't say recently, but maybe so recently because of COVID, people have been shopping more online. Now, there's always a pro and there's always a con. What would you say about, I'm going to start with you, Chloe, since you mentioned this. What are some positive components of online shopping? Can you think of anything positive about online shopping? Can you repeat that?
Save time.
Okay, so saving time. Jordan, did you say something?
But another disadvantage is our private information. We may reveal our private information on the internet.
Yeah, that is a negative factor for sure. How we are putting personal information, so our security might be at risk depending on how personal the questions are, because we have to put our address. We're putting our address, we're putting our credit card, information where we're basically putting our identity out there, and there are hackers who are able to easily hack your laptop or hack your computer or even hack your phone, depending on how you purchase your items online, because there's so many different ways that you can buy things online. So although there is a positive and there is a negative component to online shopping, I think it is still beneficial because it's great. Like Chloe mentioned, you are saving time. Now, Alice, do you have anything to add about online shopping? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, sometimes when we shopping online, we will find that the picture is very different from the real product.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, that's happened with myself as well. I bought some clothes online. The picture shows it a different way. I buy it and it's nothing like the picture, or the sizing is wrong. So that's a negative factor, because then you have to return the clothes or return the item, and then either you have to modify your size or you return it and get your money back, you get your refund, because you simply don't like the item because it doesn't look like the picture that you originally saw when you wanted to buy it. Now, another thing that online shopping that they do is they have a lot of sales. That's how they grab your attention. I was doing some online shopping, and they put spend $100, get free shipping. So in my mind, I thought, well, shipping already will cost me roughly $15. Why don't I buy something else that my total comes over $100? So that way I save money. But in theory, I'm really not saving money. I'm spending more money. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Do you think the retail stores or any stores online, do you think they're tricking consumers into thinking they're saving money, but in reality, that's how they're getting them to spend more money? Would you
sometimes they said if you buy more than like $1,000 and you can get free ship, free shipping fee.
Mm-hmm.
So I always buy more than buy the things more than I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of myself for doing that too. Now, Jordan, because you're a software engineer, and you mentioned how you're putting a lot of security information on these sites. What are your thoughts about how does online shopping work when all this information is on the internet? How can that affect us even further?
Even further.
Or maybe let me change the question. Let's say right now I'm browsing. So for example, let's say I was looking at dog pictures right now. So I'm looking at dog pictures because I want to buy a dog. Now, if I were to go to YouTube, or if I were to go to a different platform, I'll have ads of where you can buy dogs. And now, because I've done this, it's the internet, my laptop, anywhere I go, it's constantly reminding me, oh, you wanted to buy a dog, there's a dog on sale, or you can adopt a dog. How does that sort of work in technology? How, with this marketing scheme that is sort of built in depending on what you search on a day-to-day basis? that sort of make sense what I said?
Would you repeat again?
Yeah, so has this ever happened to you guys where you're Googling, let me change the let's say you're Googling pens, you want to buy different colored pens and you want to find a good deal, but you couldn't finalize on a pen that you wanted. So let's say now I'm just, I'm browsing on the internet, or I'm listening to music on YouTube, and on YouTube, a bunch of ads constantly come up. And one of the ads happens to be pens, exactly what you were looking at. Now, this is a marketing scheme. And this is how basically the businesses are trying to attract their consumers, because they know that the more you see something that you want, the more inclined you are to buy it. Now, has this happened to any of you? Allison, I can see you're nodding your head. Has this ever happened to you guys where even though you don't buy something, you're constantly reminded that, hey, look, you wanted that. Do you still want it? Now it's on sale, or it's free shipping. Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes I'm curious about why, I want to buy it. And they will show me the different web page about maybe a pen or a bag I want to buy frequently.
Exactly. And that was my question to you, Jordan. How do they do that? How by one click of a button, you're constantly reminded of, hey, do you still want this item?
Constantly remind. I think they will use some classified system to protect our security. And we should attach attention to our bank account.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they kind of so it's security is very much involved, because, for example, you're connected to the internet. So that's another way that they're able to control what you're constantly viewing, so they can modify it. So that's what you're seeing constantly on the internet. Because you're connected to the internet, you're putting your security information, you're putting your personal information in there. So it's really interesting how fast in advance we have come as humans in and how our brains function as well. Neuroscientists have been working on this for years, and they've realized how supply and demand works in the business market. Now, I asked this to Jordan, but would either Chloe or Allison, you both can answer this question. Would you prefer a minimalistic lifestyle? You guys can think about it and then respond.
Let me see.
What did you say, Jordan?
I'm thinking how to answer the question.
Okay, no problem. Take your time. I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds.
It's hard to keep minimize because we always want more and eager to enjoy better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We always want more. We aren't content with what we have. We want more things. Um, we want, let's say we want more clothes, or we want the newest iPhone, we want the newest laptop. Constantly we want, but we don't think about, do we need it? So that's a good point that you've made, Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, I'm sorry?
Okay, let's go. Let's proceed to the next part.
Okay. Alice, what are your insights on this?
My opinion, just like Jordan say, we always buy something that we want, not necessary. So for me, I don't prefer this kind of life. Yeah.
Okay. You don't, just to repeat, you wouldn't prefer a minimalistic lifestyle.
Yeah, because I don't because it's difficult for me to do that. Not I don't like it, just I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's also a good point too, because we haven't, I mean, I could be speaking for myself, but for the majority, I think that we really have not grown up in that type of lifestyle where we are able to function with so little, just the basic needs. And I agree with you. It would be very hard to transition to that position. Now, a lot of people do it, but I'm sure like the transition will be hard too. Yeah. Chloe, do you have anything to add on to this?
I think we always follow the fashion trend. So sometimes we waste many things. Like I want to use the newest iPhone, but my old iPhone, it's still working, but I want to follow the fashion, so I don't want to use the old one, and that is called about waste.
Yeah, that's Western. Were you mentioning the sort of the Western lifestyle? Is that what you were saying by West?
Waste, W-A-S-T-E.
Yeah. Oh, waste. W-A-S-T-E. Okay, waste. Okay. So now, because unfortunately, we are living, under a pandemic right now, and we initially, before when it hit, we weren't able to really go outside to do our day-to-day functioning, and we were told that we had to stay home. Do you think that sort of allowed people to change their behavior in the sense of either buying too many items or finding things that they don't need and they're buying less items? Would you, I mean, this can be anything, because I know with the pandemic we all were forced to stay home, and if we're constantly in our homes, we either find different things that we don't like, so we want to change our living room or our bedroom, or we gravitate to online shopping more, simply because we miss shopping, because we're not able to constantly go outside and shop. What are your thoughts on that? Alice, do you have something to add to that?
I think it will be. The people will found out how convenient that shopping online or shopping online.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another thing to note is this. So a positive thing about COVID could be how people are more comfortable with using technology. You're forced to. to learn how to use a laptop if you don't know already. And I guess like I could be speaking about sort of the elder generation, my parents, or even my parents' parents, my grandparents, how they're even more, they're forced because it's for survival that you need to learn how to use a laptop if you want to communicate with your grandkids on how to FaceTime them or how to Skype them or how to do a Zoom meeting with them to get familiar with this new time period that we're in. So we are more used. I think once COVID goes away, we will transition more to technology because one thing, technology is constantly advancing, and because now we are so comfortable with using technology, I think it's just going to go from here on out. Don't get me wrong, we won't be staying home post COVID, but I think new changes will be made regarding that. Now, online schooling, it was a transition that was made because we couldn't leave our homes. So that's something that school systems might implement further to do online schooling for maybe kids who aren't able to come to school for any reason, even with when COVID dies down. Now, would you say there's any negative factors of COVID? Not in the sense of technology. Jordan, Chloe, do you have anything to add to that? Do you think do you think of any negative factors of using technology during this time period? Whether it could be online shopping or it could be overusing your phone or your laptop. Any ideas on this?
We will addicted to something or obsessed with something, and we like it a lot.
Yeah, that's very true. We become more addicted to, let's say, TV, watching TV. You don't have to go anywhere. You're stuck in your home anyway. So let me watch another show or let me finish a whole series on Netflix. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I've sat on my couch and I've watched multiple shows and time has gone by. I had no regrets. I enjoyed it, but was it the best decision to make? Probably not. So that's a very good point that you've made. We become addicted to technology in that way. Chloe, do you have anything to add on to this?
I think it's overusing pad or smartphone for us and for children.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's a really, really good point to make. Personally, the generation that I grew up, there were no tablets. There were phones, but smartphones didn't exist when I was younger. We had flip phones, and just looking at my cousins who are 4 or 5 years old, they have an iPad or they have a different tablet, and they're constantly on their phones or they're constantly on their tablets. They're not playing outside. They're not interacting with other kids face to face. Now, I feel like that has also played a factor because doctors have mentioned that at a young age, kids should get reduced screening time. They shouldn't constantly be on their phones. They shouldn't constantly be watching TV. They should be interacting face to face with other kids or reading a book or doing something else. Now, how do you think that will change from here on out? Because technology is advancing. It's not going to stop now. We're only going to get smarter and better at how we function as humans. Jordan, do you want to add anything to that?
I think Many teenagers many teenagers like follow they follow the fashion and they can't and control their their they can control themselves. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's another one too. I guess that's very common when you're a teenager. You want to be chatting with your friends. You want to know the latest fashion. I mean, I was once a teenager. I know how that was, and I'm sure you three can all agree to that when you were teenagers, to live a certain lifestyle that way. Now, just going off of what we've been discussing, do you guys have any questions, any concerns that you'd like to address? Or any sort of clarification on how to pronounce a certain word or just anything? Any questions?
But I think I want to thanks for technology in this pandemic, because we can many people they use online meeting now, so we can stay at home and get together online.
Yeah,
that is the, I think that is new trend for us.
yeah, and I have to agree with you. Honestly, this is all thanks to technology that even us three are, you know, we're all in different, we're both in two different countries, yet we're still able to communicate, to talk to one another, and to learn something new daily. And I have to agree with you, honestly, thanks to technology, because that's another way how we're even able to connect with our friends or families who we weren't able to see every single day due to this pandemic. So that's a very, very good point to make, Chloe, that we're able to function now. Post-COVID, what do you think will happen? Do you, aside from that, do you think people will continue wanting to FaceTime, or will they more lean towards, okay, I want to go see my family, or I want to go outside. I don't want to do all of this online sort of face-to-face meeting. What are your thoughts on that? Anyone? Jordan, Alice, you both can jump right into if you have any ideas.
No.
Okay. Or let me. Anything, Alice?
I prefer hanging out because it's more reality, face to face. It can maintain our interpersonal relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Body language, that's a huge one too. You're able to understand. It's very hard to convey your emotions over a text, or even right now by us talking. You don't know what I'm feeling. I could be going through something. You don't know, and I don't know if you're going through something. But if we're more face to face, we can see our body language. If you're happy or if you're sad. So I have to agree with you. I would still prefer a more of a realistic approach. I need to see my friends, or I need to see my family physically instead of virtually, because I can't give them a hug. I can't give my friends a hug or my family members a hug. So that's a really good point to make with technology. I mean, again, with anything, there's a positive factor and there's always a negative factor in mind that you have to keep. So that's a very good point to make. Now, even with this was trending, but even with when first COVID hit, people were either cleaning out their homes, or they're finding new hobbies to make, or they're finding out ways to live this new sort of world that they will be staying in. I think that it really helped. It either helped some people or it didn't. There are so many memes on the internet, and I think one of the memes were Chloe mentioned this, how we were able to have meetings online through Zoom. Now, because with businesses, you tend to go on business meetings, so you have to travel to different countries. Now, because we have technology where we're able to do Zoom meetings, do you think that will sort of stop, where we won't have I mean, I know none of us are in business, or we're a CEO of a company or anything, but do you think that would sort of stop businesses from allowing their employees to go traveling abroad or to different countries simply because they're able to do it on their phone or on Zoom meeting? Or do you think they should still continue on with, hey, I need you to go to Canada right now for this meeting and get this deal done and then come back? What are your thoughts on that?
Maybe the first one, using computer.
Using a computer. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess that saves the company money, so they don't have to spend a plane ticket, a hotel stay, food expense for the employees or the employee that will be going to the meeting. What about you, Chloe? Anything?
Same as Alice.
Same as Alice. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Jordan? Do you have anything to add to this? Any thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
No, I don't know how to express.
Because meeting online, we just have to overcome the jet lag.
Yeah. I guess that's true too. But now, I mean, I see your point, and I think for a business standpoint, it makes some sense. However, Alice, you had mentioned this, but it's not reality. We're body language plays a factor. Now, if I have to make an important meeting and I have to get this deal done for my business, and I do it virtually, and the meeting doesn't go well, simply I can just log right out and say, bye, this meeting is canceled. But if I was face to face with that person, I am able to convince them more on why they should want my business, because there isn't a click of a button where they will vanish or I will vanish. So I still think that for that standpoint, depending on what the business is, and if it actually is very important, it should be done face to face. But if there's some small business deals that can be made, I think for the company's sake of saving money and jet lag being a factor, I think it would make sense to just stick to online instead. But so I'm kind of in the middle, simply because you're more likely to be pursuing the business more. You're able to get to sell your product more if it's done face to face, because you're forced to be in that room, sort of. All you can do is simply walk out, but you have that takes energy, versus clicking a button that just takes a second of your time. So yeah. Well, this wraps up today's topic. I hope you all enjoyed today's class discussion. Now we do have 2 minutes left. Do you guys have any questions for me, or just anything that you'd like to ask me, or anything? You guys can just ask me.
That's great. So far, so good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Was this your first time joining Cambridge ABC?
No, I'm the old student, like Chloe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was nice to meet you for the first time, Alice. Thank you for coming to class.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. You're also from Taiwan, right? I remember you said that. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, nice to meet you once again.
Thank you.
No problem. Chloe, do you have any questions or any concerns or anything like that for me?
Everything well, thank you.
Okay, I'm glad. That's always what I like to hear. Jordan, anything that you'd like to ask me?
No.
Okay, perfect. Well, guys, this sort of wraps up today's topic. Now, I'm sure, I hope you've learned something from this video or something about different cultures in general and how America functions with their sales and whatnot. So, well, take care, all of you, and I will see you next time in my class, okay? Bye, Chloe. Bye, Jordan.
Thank
Bye, Alan.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.